Hello, my name is Sofia Guerra, and I'm from the Bay Area. I'm a mentor at Bring Change to Mind, and I also have pretty wild dreams of redefining U.S. national security and bringing a logic for security that hinges upon international solidarity and justice. So, at first glance, my two passions right now are not remotely related, but they both have to do with finding a home, and that's what a lot of my work centers on. And that can mean finding home when you're stateless or when you don't have a roof over your head, or finding a home in your own head, your own body, or your own country. For example, I'm Salvadoran and Mexican American. So based on my race and people's assumption about my family's countries of origin, I am often rejected by American society. But the thing is, I've also never been to Mexico or El Salvador, and I will never be fully Mexican or fully Salvadoran. And I am thus rejected by those countries as well. So where does that leave me? Where does that leave my family when we're rejected, even villainized by ICE, by police, and even neighbors? This is a feeling a lot of people of color, especially Black and Indigenous people, are familiar with. That feeling of where do I belong? How can I feel safe in my own body when it's criticized and politicized and villainized because of the way I look? This is why racism, even aside from the actual physical atrocities that emerge from it, is so violent. It has a serious effect on your mental health. As a person of color, and especially as someone with strong Indigenous roots in Mexico, my mental health and mental health in general has always been about justice and healing for the people, for the purpose of gaining the energy and the strength to continue fighting institutional racism and creating intergenerational wealth and roots in the U.S. It's hard to carry on in school, quite frankly, when the first things you hear about are not African civilizations, Indigenous American civilizations, and the queer and trans historical figures and communities within these civilizations, but slavery, colonization, and the benevolence of people who have inflicted serious physical and psychological violence upon our ancestors. It makes you feel less than, and in my experience, it made me feel like I wasn't good enough to be in AP classes or to even go to college. If I hadn't had support from one history teacher and gotten access to therapy and been able to educate myself about where I'm from and why I should be proud of it, then I wouldn't be in college now. I'd be in a very, very different situation. That's why we got to take care of each other, show up for each other. And you can do that by showing love and compassion to people, to give people you normally would shut down the benefit of the doubt. But I won't say that love is the answer, of course, because love is not how you pass legislation or demand change. To propose love as a solution, I want to clarify, is almost offensive for Black and Indigenous people of color, because it insinuates that we need to be more resilient and smile more and be more optimistic about our situations, and the problems will go away. As if racism is based solely on the prejudices of individual oppressors and the bitterness of the oppressed, rather than the actual legal mechanisms that allow for systemic echo chamber type racism. As if we can resolve our trauma through a heart-to-heart. That's definitely not true. We need to acknowledge to each other that it's really hard to be optimistic right now and that we're all in pain and we need to listen to each other, especially people who are most impacted. That is the type of love we need to survive and carry on fighting. We got to tell each other that we need each other and appreciate each other's work.